Check. Can you hear me? Someone tell me they can hear me so I can go live. We need to talk about this right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Boston Red Sox just cleaned house. They literally just absolutely torched the Red Sox staff. $5 super chat from Dale. He says, Fatsy is gone, praise the heavens. Yeah, Fatsy's not the only one who's gone here, chat. And to be honest with you, Fatsy might be a cliff note in this. We need to, we're getting right into this because this is, I don't even know how to break this down if we're being honest here. So, if you haven't heard the news yet, the Boston Red Sox have fired their manager, Alex Cora. They have fired their hitting coach, Pete Fatsy. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat, Brady. I appreciate you. They have fired their bench coach, Ramon Vasquez. And they have fired their game planning coordinator, Jason Varitek. They quite literally fired everybody. And on top of that, Dylan Lawson has been fired. Dylan Lawson has been fired as their assistant hitting coach, and Huddy is out as well. Kyle Hudson has been fired on top of this. The Boston Red Sox have fired. Let's go. Let me go through the coaching staff because I think you guys need to put into perspective how many people the Boston Red Sox just fired. They quite literally fired everybody. Like this is, okay, so Alex Cora, gone. Ramon Vasquez, gone. Pete Fatsy, gone. Dylan Lawson, gone. John stays, Bailey stays, Flores stays, Hudson, gone. Jason Varitek, gone. You're talking about more than half of the Red Sox coaching staff was just fired today. Was just fired seconds ago. Literal seconds ago, chat. Who's coaching tomorrow? I have no idea. Andrew Bailey is safe. Kyle Hudson's gone. Yeah, so there's multiple different lists out there right now as to who's actually here and who's not. Jeff Passan's official list was this: Cora, Fatsy, Ramon Vasquez, Jason Varitek, and that was it. But we also got Dylan Lawson from Gordo. Jared Carrabis also named Kyle Hudson in here as well. So we're talking about what? Cora, Ramon, Varitek, Fatsy, Hudson, Dylan Lawson, 6. And I think I might be missing somebody there too. 6 different Red Sox coaches were just fired. We knew that the Red Sox ownership wasn't happy with the team right now, right? And we knew that. I'm just here. Let me give you, because I went live the second this happened. So I have no idea. What to make of this right now, to be honest with you. I have no clue. But here's my genuine first reaction is this kind of feels like a little bit of a scapegoat. It does, right? A little bit. It feels like a little bit of a scapegoat here. Like Fatsy, we made a video about. I don't think I thought that Alex Cora, you know what's crazy about this too? Alex Cora literally yesterday, was on Fair Territory or Foul Territory, one of the two, whatever one Ken Rosenthal hosts. I can't remember which one it is. And was like, no, I feel like I'm doing a good job. The Red Sox they said, no, nothing is working. Nothing is working. We need to change everything. So we're going to fire everybody. I have no idea who's going to coach now. Chris Henrique just tweeted. Let me pull this up. Chris Henrique just tweeted. Dude, it literally is. Whoever replied with this, it's literally the scene from The Godfather. I'm told that there's a possibility of members of the Woo Sox / Sea Dogs that could be heading to Boston. Wow, dude. Look, I understood the reasoning behind I understood the reasoning behind, some people not enjoying what Alex Cora was doing. And I understand the ideology behind wanting him fired, but to fire the entire coaching staff is crazy. Crazy. Like Pete Fatsi, I think makes sense. Ramon Vasquez getting lumped in here. I don't know why Ramon Vasquez is getting lumped in here. I have no idea why Ramon Vasquez gets lumped in here. Varitek, like for as much as like the fact that you're gonna fire one of the most storied people in your franchise's history is also pretty crazy. Like I think that's one of the more underrated parts of this. Vasquez is Cora's guy. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why. Gerard Mayo's coach tomorrow. Yeah. I'm just surprised. I'm genuinely surprised. Yeah, Jason Varitek was fired. So the most shocking part of this to me is that there was clearly a break, right? At some point, whether it happened during this offseason, whether it happened with the start to this season, right? One of the two. There was a break between both Cora and Breslow, and shockingly, the ownership sided with Breslow. I'm genuinely shocked by that because for a long time, Alex Cora had John Henry's ear, and John Henry and Alex Cora, understood and appreciated each other. For this to happen instead of Craig Breslow is to me, it was always, if they're going to move somebody, if they're going to fire somebody, it's going to be Craig Breslow before it's Alex Cora, because it just felt like this Alex Cora was so cemented in what the Red Sox were doing and how they were doing it and where their future was going, that even through a CBO change, right? I mean, Chaim Bloom left and the new CBO search, it was, yeah, you can have control over this team, but Alex Cora is going to be your manager through that. So something in between the end of last season and the start they had this season, there was a crack, there was a divide, whatever, which makes sense considering how poor this start has been and how wrong things have gone. But for the ownership to side with Breslow is genuinely shocking to me. I do think it's genuinely shocking to me. $2 super chat from Dale. It lets a new manager bring in his own staff. Yeah, no, I understand that, but it's crazy. Like they've fully given up. They have fully given up on this season, right? Like you can't have a successful season after this. It's impossible. It's impossible, right? You can't. Like this team is going to be in turmoil for a long time because it's not just Cora you're losing the entirety of this coaching staff essentially. Someone said check Tyler's tweet. Alex Cora will now be the hottest commodity for the next managerial vacancy. It's no secret he has a close relationship with the Phillies. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Oh, wait a second. Tommy Castle, just a couple of minutes ago. Woo Sox manager Chad Tracy has not been in the dugout at Polar Park for the past few innings. Interesting. He was voted the best managerial prospect the last couple of years. I'm wondering if the Red Sox are looking to pair this young roster with someone who has more of a developmental feel. This is also a good point for Milliken here. Alex Cora fired before Aaron Boone is genuinely shocked. Like I'm genuinely I don't even know if I'm upset yet or mad yet or what. I'm just genuinely shocked. I am genuinely shocked. I thought for sure that if the Red Sox were going to make a move, it was going to be Breslow before it was Cora. I genuinely did. $2 super chat from Paige, or Mr. Crutch here. Tracy time. Yeah, so, okay, now we got more breaking news. Corbin, get ready for the call. Folks, put me in. Put me in. All right. So we just got breaking news. I just saw it on my watch. Here's the breaking news. Breaking. Chad Tracy is the interim manager. So it's officially Chad Tracy. Here's the official list. Today, the club has announced that they parted ways with Alex Cora 1, along with 5 members of the coaching staff. Hitting coach Pete Fatsi, which, thank God, right? I think it's about time. As much as we've talked about, I hate calling for people's jobs, Pete Fatsi was long overdue. Third base coach Kyle Hudson, kind of shocked by that one, to be honest with you. I think he's done really great work with the Red Sox outfielders defensively. Really surprised by that. Ramon Vasquez, who people are saying who people are saying is Alex Cora's guy, assistant hitting coach Dylan Lawson, which not crazy, unexpected, and then hitting strategy coach Joe Cronin. We're just throwing Joe Cronin in there. So I guess it wasn't Alex. So I guess it was a false alarm on Jason Varitek. I can't tell. Like Jason Varitek's not on this list, and this is the official list, but on Jeff Passan's list, he has Jason Varitek. So which one's right? Did he respond to this and say no? No. So Varitek, I don't know what's happening with Varitek right now. The official, oh yeah. Interesting. So they're not firing Jason Varitek. It's something different. Jason Varitek has been reassigned to a new role within the organization. Details of his reassignment will be announced at a later date. I wonder if they're pulling Jason Varitek into a front office role. I wonder if they're doing that instead. Here's the official quote from the Red Sox. Alex Cora has led this organization to one of the greatest seasons in Red Sox history in 2018, and for that and the many years that followed, he will always have our deepest gratitude. This is from John Henry. He has had a lasting impact on the team and this city. He has led on and off the field in so many important ways. These decisions are never easy, but this one is especially difficult given what Alex has meant to the Red Sox since the day he arrived. I want to thank Alex, our coaches, and their families for everything they've given to this organization. They've been a part of this club in a way that goes beyond the field, and they always have our respect and gratitude. Do we think this actually is going to change anything? Like, do we think that this is actually going to do anything to the Red Sox success this season? That's the biggest question, right? Because ultimately, this is why you do it. Who's going to be the coach? So Chad Tracy's taken over as manager of the Boston Red Sox. Cora will get scooped up. It's going to suck to see Cora with like a... It's going to be interesting to see Cora with like a different team and probably playing pretty well. I am curious, like Alex Cora said he doesn't want to coach forever. So I wonder if he's gonna like pick up a front office role or something, you know? But I can't remember the last time an entire coaching staff like this. An entire coaching staff like this was fired. Like, I genuinely, when was the last time this happened? Bailey should have been number one. Bailey should have been fired. I don't know, dude. Breslow needs to go. Again, the most shocking part of this to me is that the Red Sox went with Breslow as opposed to going with Alex Cora. That's the most shocking part to me, because whether you liked Cora or not, it always felt like in terms of a hierarchy within the organization, it was Cora and then it was Breslow, right? In terms of who the ownership group favored. And maybe at some point they sat there and they said, well, maybe we need to give Breslow full control of this and just see if, it's his vision that's wrong or it's Cora's. And if it is, we could just fire him him too. I don't know, dude. That's crazy. They won't fire a GM mid-season. Yeah, I guess that's true, but I'm shocked they fired anyone at all, to be honest with you. What respectable manager will come over now and coach this team? That's the other thing too. I don't know who if there is a respectable manager, like just waiting for a job. I don't know that there is. We extended Cora last year. I know. Chad Tracy. Yeah, I think Chad Tracy. So here's the thing with Chad Tracy is he is a genuinely fantastic manager. Like he is a manager that people loved, right? People loved Chad Tracy, and they do love Chad Tracy. Has Chad Tracy been a big league manager? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I mean, we can look at we might as well look up Chad Tracy's history here. Tracy manager experience. All right. So this is when they hired him here. So no, so he's been a manager. So when he got hired by Worcester, he had spent years with the Angels managing their low A, their high A, and for the past 4 years, the Angels minor league field coordinator. So he's never managed at the big league level. Yeah, it doesn't look like Chad Tracy's ever managed the big league level. But again, you go back to Milliken's tweet, right? Where was it? Yeah, Chad Tracy was voted the best managerial prospect in 23 and 24 by his peers. I think this specific part, I think is maybe the most important one of this, is that the Red Sox are looking to pair this young roster with someone who is more of a developmental feel. It kind of feels like the Red Sox just fully pivoted today in terms of, hey, we're going from competing this year for a World Series to, hey, we're going to actually, instead, we're going to go and we're going to develop this team a little bit more. Like, you're kind of going back to this sort of, it kind of feels like you're going right back to this sort of rebuild. That's what I'm looking for. Rebuild that you went through the last couple of years where you saw this kind of stuff coming too. Such a cop-out to fire Cora. It feels like a little bit of scapegoating. And I said at the beginning, are we cooked? Yeah, I think this kind of means the season's over, right? Like this kind of means the season's over. Like I don't know. We've seen teams before make these kind of miracle runs, right? In terms of, hey, we're going to sorry, I need to mute this. I'm getting distracted. These miracle runs where you fire the manager and then kind of despite everybody else, you do it and you play well. But I don't know. I feel like over the next few days, one of the things we're going to get a lot of, and what we're going to be covering a lot of on this channel over a few, I would even say probably weeks here, is there's going to be a lot of things coming out about the way he managed the clubhouse. Like no Red Sox manager has been fired without some sort of scandal, right? Albert Pujols, please, I'm heartbroken with this. Pujols, if I am Pujols or I'm whoever, I don't know that I'm taking this job right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Am I avoiding this for the moment? Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow will address the media in Baltimore tomorrow at 1:35 p.m. So right in the middle of the game, we are going to be right in the middle of tomorrow's game. We are going to be listening to this. Alex, a $10 super chat. He says, we need to full invest in the future. Look at our farm system. There are guys there performing. It's time for change. It's a big change, but it's time. So I'm curious, right? When I put this out there earlier, let me create a poll. Let's create a poll and let's see what you guys think here. My question is, yes, this changed something. Does firing Cora make you better now? Like that's my question, right? Does this team compete with Alex Cora off this team? I'm very curious. This is the dumbest move I've heard in my life, and I barely watch baseball that much anymore. I was thinking about the roster, thinking about the untouchable. Would I trade Roman Anthony for Zach Neto? Not even, no. No, not even a little bit of thought in my mind that would happen. Cora was never the problem. He won us the World Series and led us to the playoffs last year. Brez was. He didn't build the team enough. Yeah, so again, that's sort of and I'm going to reiterate this a lot, right? I think we're going to be live for a little bit here. Because I think there's going to be more that comes out over the next couple of, 30, 40 minutes here. It feels like this was the most shocking part of this is because it always felt like it was Cora's team and Breslow was running it. That's what it always felt like. The staff sucks too. They've screwed up every prospect brought up. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say every single one. But you have seen guys adjusting to it, man. I think, you look at but the problem is you look at this offense and it's like, okay, is it the fault of the coaching staff? I mean, specifically is the fault of the manager and a guy like Tech and a guy like, Kyle Hudson, why the Red Sox are doing so poorly? Or is it something else? Is it something bigger? $5 from Dale. When every player is underperforming, it falls on the staff. Alex Cora is at the top of that staff. He needed to be fired. Yeah, I guess. Like, I understand the reasoning. I understand the reasoning for sure, right? And I understand the idea behind everything's going wrong, so you have to blame somebody at some point here. It gets stale. And maybe that's what it was. It was just simply the messaging wasn't working anymore. I don't know, right? But it's shocking to me that it's genuinely shocking to me that, you're going to wipe out the entire staff midway through the season. Like my thought process in the video we literally made a video 2 days ago about this, right? The video I made 2 days ago was talking about the fact that it usually starts somewhere lower, right? It usually starts with, okay, we're going to try moving on from our hitting coach. So we're going to maybe you move Fatsy, Dylan, and that guy John. Poor John gets swept up in this. Or Cronin gets swept up in this, right? He probably didn't really do too much, to be honest with you anyways. And then you see if that works, and if something doesn't work, then maybe you make the big, we're cutting the head off the snake move. The Red Sox said, no, we're doing it all at once. So I'm more so curious about the idea of what the Red Sox are going to, like, what's the plan here? Genuinely, what is the plan for the Red Sox to rebuild this thing? Where do you go from here? If the Red Sox season is considered over, then Duran won't be. I think that's a possibility for sure. It's not the messaging, it's the ownership. Henry needs to sell. Yeah, I can go on a rant for hours about how FSG will never sell. I could go on it for hours and hours and hours. All right, so we got another addition. We have another addition here. The Boston Red Sox have officially added somebody else. This is what I mean. Like, things are going to start trickling in here, so we're going to pay attention to this. So Chad Epperstein will join the big league club as their interim third base coach. Woo Sox hitting coach Colin Heltzer will join the MLB hitting staff. So, okay, so the only one left in terms, let's go back to this, right? The hitting staff is decimated. Gone is Pete Fatsy. Gone is Dylan Lawson. And where is he? Joe Cronin. Gone is Joe Cronin. You have 4 hitting coaches. 3 of them were just fired. 3 of them. Which means the only one left is John Soteropoulos, and people are going to love this. The only driveline guy on the roster is John Soteropoulos. So now you're replacing Alex Cora, who's gone, with Chad Tracy. Again, if you're going to replace him with anybody, like the guy who is heralded as one of the best managerial prospects in baseball. Excuse me. I went live so early, I forgot to grab water, so I'm just dying over here. Chad Tracy's taken over as manager. There's no bench coach right now. You don't have a bench coach. Your hitting coach is now an interim hitting coach by the name of Colin Heltzer, who, to be fair, the Woo Sox are slugging right now. The Woo Sox, Mikey Romero has the highest hard hit percentage in baseball. They just won again today. Your assistant hitting coach is gone. You don't have anything for that. You've got your other hitting coach, assistant hitting coach. He's still here. Joe Cronin, he's gone, so you got to replace him. You have to replace, this is crazy. You have to replace your third base coach. You have to replace your bench coach, too. I don't know who comes in and is your bench coach. And poor Jason Varitek gets swept up in all this. I mean, to be fair, again, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Like, for the people who are clamoring for Jason Varitek to be the manager of this team, he was the game planning and run prevention coach. And the Red Sox haven't come into games that looking at all prepared for either on the pitching or hitting side this year, and they haven't been preventing runs all that well. So I'm curious what kind of role they're going to transition him into. I would imagine, where do you put him in the organization? You can't demote Jason Varitek down to AAA. You're not going to be like, hey man, you're going to actually coach the AAA Worcester Red Sox, right? That's never going to happen. He's never going to want to do that. Are they planning on making him the manager? I don't know. Everything is up in the air right now, and I genuinely have no idea what they're going to do. Is Tech gone too? So the official report is that, let me pull that up. The official report is that Jason Varitek is staying, but he is going into, from the Red Sox, game planning and run prevention coach Jason Varitek has been reassigned to a new role within the organization. Details of his reassignment will be announced at a later date. I don't know what that means. I don't have an answer to that, right? I wish I did. I don't have an answer. So I don't know if that means, hey, you're going to be manager of the Red Sox. I don't know if that's, hey, you know, we're seeing a lot of like AAA. Are they going to put him in AAA to get managerial experience to take over by the end of the year? I genuinely don't know. But Jason Varitek will still be in the organization. And if he's staying, it has to be something relatively good, right? Let me see if there's anything new here. No, nothing new. I'm just like, I'm on Twitter here. And I'm waiting for something. I don't know. I figured, all right, so here's the official statement here. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know how is it that in 2 years, the last 2 years, we've covered the trading of Rafael Devers and the trading and the firing of Alex Cora is crazy. There was a $10 super chat in here somewhere, and I totally missed it, I think. $5 from Alex. He said, yo, Corbin, I don't know if you noticed, but you're almost at 1K viewers. That's insane, guys. Thank you. Jack with a $10 super chat. He says, hate to think we're punting on the season. I kept hoping the bats would warm up at the end of April. They did today. What sense does this make today? That's the other question. I don't know what the timing of this is. Is it either, hey, we're totally giving up on this season, so we're full slating it and we're building up for next year? Or is this we're firing so early in the season because we still believe we can compete? My guess, and this is just a guess, is that this is the Red Sox full slating. We're trying again next year. We want to be in a better place coming in the offseason type conversation. That's my guess, because you don't fire the entirety of your coaching staff and think and think that, you know, the Red Sox are going to compete. I just don't. Cora's not been great, but there's no way Varitek's current position and others are more of a problem for this organization than ownership. Yeah, but the problem is ownership will never sell, right? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it 1,000 times. If the Red Sox, if by some miracle you can get John Henry to sell his shares to the Boston Red Sox, FSG will never sell. Right? It'd be John Henry selling his shares. And all that would mean is those would be divvied up, for the most part, between probably mostly his wife, some of his kids, and the rest of FSG. And then a minority new owner will come in. And maybe they have a little bit of a voice, but it's not really going to change anything, right? So you're kind of stuck where you are with your ownership. It's just not going to happen, right? As much as it would be fun to do, but yeah, I don't know. What's FSG? Fenway Sports Group. It's the owner of the Boston Red Sox. They weren't competing with Cora's staff in place. That's true. They're not going to trade Roman Anthony. Whoever said they're going to trade Roman Anthony is insane. That's like the building block. It's a move to stop the bleeding before it's too late. We need a jolt. And then, again, it might be why, but my opinion here, and this is just my opinion, right? And I could see the team playing a little bit better. I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because there's so many people. Man, I'm dying here. There's so many people that just got fired, right? It was a majority of your coaching staff was just fired or in Tech's case, reassigned. That, like, it's different than, like, you know, when you see teams let go of their coaches, it's usually just either they do this kind of overhaul in the offseason, or during the regular season, they kind of just cut loose the manager. And then you slowly build more people in. Right? You don't really usually see an entire staff just cut down in broad daylight like this. And I'm curious. I'm very, very curious as to what the players' reaction to this is going to be. Right? I'm very curious as to how a guy like Duran is going to react. A guy like Story is going to react. Like, the leaders of this team are going to react to this. How even a guy like Wilyer Abreu, who like the players, for as much as we have been sitting here, and you know, some people complain about this and some people don't like Cora or whatever, they loved Alex Cora. Like, he was a big part of what made people enjoyable. He's a big reason why a lot of players really enjoyed playing in Boston. And whether you liked him or not, it's just a fact. KT with the $25 super chat, man. Thank you so much. That is unbelievably kind of you. Hey, I'm here, and I'm as stunned as you guys, and I got nobody to talk about it with, so I'm going to sit here and talk about it with you guys. Because Oh my God. And it's honestly kind of surprising that Andrew Bailey isn't included in this. Like, if you're going to clean house, you might as well just fully clean house. Not a single pitching coach was fired. I'm shocked by that. Like, if you're gonna make a clean cut, you might as well cut. And to be fair, I understand why Andrew Bailey's the one guy that Breslow brought in, right? And last year was a really successful year for this pitching staff. So I understand why he wasn't fired, but it just it's more so me being like, man, if you're going to cut the head off the snake and cut the head off of everybody, you might as well kind of cut through those guys too. I don't know. The kids of Boston finally got fed a meal and now this. Yeah. My brother's calling me. Do I answer and have him on stream? I don't know. That's a little risky. It's Saturday. He's in college. Just aged 20 years and 2 seconds. Seriously, dude, this entire season is going to put me in a coma. They'll trade early for a bat? I don't think so, man. I really don't think so. Are they going to have a coach for tomorrow? Yeah, so the coach, again, so I don't know if you guys have seen this. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I'll put it back up. So we do have a couple of interim players or interim managers coming up, coaches, whatever, to take over some of the spots here. So where is it? Yeah. Chad Tracy's coming up to be the interim manager. Portland manager Chad Epperson will join the big league staff as the third base coach, which, I mean, yeah, okay. Woo Sox hitting coach Colin Heltzer will join the MLB hitting staff. Now, I'm curious if Colin Heltzer, let me look up Colin Heltzer. Heltzer. Is that how he spelled it? I'm trying to get some sort of background on Colin Heltzer at all. In terms of like, where did he come from? What kind of philosophy he has? But I don't see anything in here. It's just sort of like a little snippet here. He spent 4 seasons in the Mets organization. He was the hitting coach for the Mets. And that's it. So I don't know. I can't really find much about like where he came from. He played big league baseball. Or I guess, no, he didn't. My apologies. He had a baseball reference page, so I just assumed. Sorry. Played at Houston Christian University, I think. This is like, I have no words. I genuinely didn't expect the Red Sox to make this big of a move this early. And I didn't expect it to be Alex Cora. I really didn't. Tech gone too. So Tech got reassigned. I have no idea what that means. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where that's going. It should have been Bailey. Stop taking Bailey's side. I didn't take Bailey's side. I said I'm kind of shocked Bailey or any pitching coaches weren't a part of this. Can't be worse than what Pete Fatsie had. That's true. Are they just going to forfeit this year? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I keep saying, I keep saying, like, I don't know whether this is the Red Sox fully cutting loose and being like, yeah, we've given up on this season. We're gonna build for next year. Or if this is, hey, we're cutting now because we still think this team can turn it around. I don't know. He is a driveline guy. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So he'll probably stick around maybe. I don't know. How do I think tomorrow's game's going to go? The quotes that are going to come out tomorrow. The quotes that are going to come out tomorrow are going to be shocking. Like the story behind it, like he's asking Corbin, do I think that Cora was fired because he wouldn't fire Fatsie? I don't know. Right? I genuinely have no idea. Like I don't know the reasoning behind it. It doesn't sound like, it kind of sounds like this was something because of the overall state of the team and not so much because of him refusing. But again, I have no idea. It's going to be something we see come out the next couple of days. But I think the most interesting part of this in the next 24 hours is going to be Clip, re-becoming a member. Glad no major Red Sox news broke today. Breslow's coming for me? Yeah, true. Breslow's coming for me next. The hitting coach is irrelevant. The one that came up, I mean, for now, he's not. He's going to be forced into a bigger role. What do you mean? I can't remember last time a manager was fired third week of April. I can't remember that either. I can't remember the last time an entire staff was fired this early on. I can't remember that. Wally's on the hot seat. Breaking news. Wally is fired. Tessie's taken over as interim mascot for the Boston Red Sox. Gold, thank you so much for becoming a member of the standing room. Fatsy cooked our hitting. I don't think this has happened. Oh yeah, I can't remember it. Sweet Caroline's been canned. I wouldn't be too mad about that. I didn't know that you got fired until right now. Should have been Breslow before him, though, in my opinion. That was my opinion, too. Like, personally, and this is just my personal opinion, is that I always thought that it was more Breslow's mistakes that were the problems this season than it was Cora. But here is my ultimate, like, sort of how this ended up happening. I think at some point between the start of this spring training and where they are today, a rift split between Cora and Breslow. I don't know if that's Breslow not re-signing or refusing to do the trade clause with Bregman. I don't know if that was the Durbin deal. I don't know if it was the start to the season. I have no idea. I don't know if it's Breslow wanting to have fired a Fatsy and maybe the entire hitting staff earlier and Cora was trying to prevent it. I don't know, but a rift started at some point, and what ultimately ended up happening was ownership had to pick a side. And ownership sided with Breslow, which I think is, again, I'm going to say this 1,000 times because there's 1,000 people in here and they're coming in and out here. The most shocking part to me is that John Henry sided with Craig Breslow as opposed to Alex Cora. And I'm curious if that's the Red Sox saying, look, we've made the playoffs once since 2021. So 22, 23, 24, 25, we made it one time. We've gone through two different CBOs. It looks like we're not going to make the playoffs again. Maybe this time, instead of trusting the manager, we trust our hired gun here in Craig Breslow, and we give him full reins of this coaching staff. I don't know. Right? Again, the reasoning behind this is going to be a mystery for a long time. There's going to be hit pieces coming out on both sides. It's going to be very, very fascinating what the truth is, kind of somewhere in the middle here. It makes sense to do it now if they still want to win. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. No serious GM wants the job. That's why Breslow's going to be here. That's the other part of it too. I've said this a lot. Right, it's going to be much easier for the Red. $2 super chat from Mario. Thank you so much, Mario. I saw Mike's in there. I need to respond to him as well before I get into this point. Mike, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He said maybe this is supposed to salvage the season. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe Pedroia and Poppy will be put in position to save this team. Neither of those guys are taking deals. As much as it would be fun to see those guys doing it, neither of those guys are going to be doing deals. Who's my dream manager replacement? I genuinely haven't even thought that far. I genuinely don't even. I don't know. I don't know who's available. They just fired. Is that actual? Is that an actual, like, Jemai Webster just got fired? Is that true? Wait, the double A manager is coming up as a major league third base coach? Yes. I think the international guys love Cora so much, there'll be a big toll on the team. 1,000%. I don't even think it's just the international guys. I think everybody loves Cora. And I think Cora leaving is going to, again, cause, should not have fired Heimblum. I don't disagree. Please read this. What do I think about us changing up the order and paying off coaches still getting fired? I don't really understand what you mean there, baseball. Dave O'Brien got fired too? Yeah, very funny. If Dave O'Brien got fired, that would be genuinely shocking. Dave O'Brien didn't get fired. Huddy did get fired, yes. Yeah, so here's the official list of people that got fired here. I'm looking for... Yeah, so Chad Tracy's coming in as the interim manager. Chad Epperstein is the interim's third base coach. And then Colin Heltzer as the hitting staff here. Yeah, so the Red Sox announced the club has parted ways. Again, just so we could reiterate, because I know there's a lot of people coming in and out here. Cora was the big one, the biggest one, and to me, probably the most shocking one, at least in my opinion. Fatsy was fired. Again, I hated calling for somebody's job, but like, yeah, makes sense, right? The Red Sox had historically the worst OPS in their franchise's history since 1912 up until today. So like, yeah, obviously. Third base coach Kyle Hudson got fired. I don't really understand that one. There's got to be some sort of conversation about there had to have been some sort of mutiny when the Red Sox were trying to fire some of these guys. Ramon Vasquez goes. Again, it was pointed out to me that he's Cora's guy. Makes sense. Dylan Lawson goes. Again, a hitting coach. Like, I'm not going to cry too much about it. And another hitting coach, Joe Cronin's dead. Oh my gosh. No, he's not. Joe Cronin was fired. I can't believe that was the slip up there. I apologize. And then Jason Varitek's reassigned. What his reassignment is, I have no idea. My initial, and I think probably the one that makes sense, is if you're positioning Varitek to be a big league manager, Chad Tracy comes up. He's the big league manager. Varitek goes down to AAA. He's the manager there, and you kind of work from there. But oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. That was crazy. I'm sorry. But this is the official post by the Boston Red Sox. Officially announced that they have fired Alex Cora as their manager. I feel like all of us would have been avoided if we re-signed Bregman. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't disagree. Welcome to the Bleachers. Thank you so much, Sharon. $2 super chat from John. Do I think Cora will go to the Mets? I think Cora goes straight to the Phillies. I think he goes straight to the Phillies, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Corbin, does this hurt Henry Moore? He's now the most disliked guy in Boston. He's turning into Dan Snyder. Does it hurt him more if the Red Sox start winning? No. If they don't, yeah, I think they absolutely do. I don't know though. Cora will make loads of money now. Yeah, someone's gonna pay him a lot. They will yeah, for sure. What I meant is change up the batting order like completely, and we ended up scoring 17 runs, but the coaches still get fired. What do I think about that? I think regardless, I think this was a decision made before today's game. That's my opinion. And they announced, well, they let the team know today after the game. Williard? No, you don't trade Williard. Can we trade with the Reds for Terry Francona? Duran's probably gone now. I wouldn't disagree though. Phillies are farther back than we are though. I don't think it matters to Cora. I think he's just gonna want to find a team. Ben Zobrist would be a good manager. I see. Is he even retired? I don't even know. Yeah, Francona would never come back. By the way, what's the reason for the Twins letting go of Rocco Baldelli? He didn't. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that either. I don't think Varitek is managerial material. He got pushed off the catching coordinator position, didn't perform well in his current role. Yeah, I think I hate making assumptions because there's no information out right now, and we're just sort of waiting for the information to come out. I said at the beginning of the stream, right? It's shocking to me that the Red Sox would fire somebody as storied as Jason Varitek. So I'm curious if this is just them kind of being like, look, we can't fire you because you're so beloved, but you're not going to work here anymore. You know, you're waiting for a major trade. I do think that's probably what's going to happen here. So what's on the screen? Something official from the Sox? Yes, this is officially from the Red Sox. This is their official statement. This is wilder than Devers getting traded on Father's Day. Is it? Yeah, this is close. This has got to be. The fact that the entire hitting staff got fired along with Cora and some other players or coaches, yeah, this has to be much, much, much more impactful. It was probably a mutiny. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think they made this decision after tomorrow's after tomorrow. You mean yesterday's game? Yeah, probably. I still say our biggest misstep was not punting up for Marte. I don't know. Does that mean Driveline too? No. The only guy who did not get fired was the Driveline guy. Bye-bye, Bayo. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Chris Cotillo for manager? Hell yeah. Chad Tracy is coaching tomorrow. Sorry, I'm just going through and seeing if there's any other news here. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I agree with Milliken. The leaks are about to be insane with these firings. Like, what happened behind here? Chicken and beer scandal again? That's kind of what I'm waiting for. Right? I'm waiting for that news. The reasoning behind this, because there had to be something. There has to be more with Corbin. Yeah, that's my point, right? They're firing Cora because he couldn't be their power bat. Big Nepo hiring's about to drop. Who? You're the best on here? Hey, man, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Do you think there will be a big player trade? Yeah, I do kind of think that something's coming here. I do think something's coming here in terms of, they shook up the coaching staff because they think they could still compete. Is there something in terms of a player move too that you can get to compete? I don't know. Like my thing is, I always go back to that Isaac Paredes deal before the season, right? The Red Sox couldn't get that done, and it was because they were stuck on the value of Jarren Duran. I wonder if that changes. I wonder if the Houston Astros are still interested. That's the one that comes to my head, but I don't know. And again, it depends, right? It depends on whether or not the Boston Red Sox are doing this because they're fully given up on the season and they want to just cut base and they want to start over and everything's going off here. Or they're cutting base because they think they could still compete because they're only four spots out of a playoff spot. I don't know. I that's the answer I want to know, right? Corbin, if you were a betting man, where would you put your $1 bet? Well, if I was putting $1 on it, it'd probably be playoffs, right? Just because it's $1. But if it was like my life savings on it, statistically, you have to go with the Red Sox missing the playoffs. You have to. I don't know. Would I move Bayo? I talked about Bayo today, right? We did that full video. I don't know if I'd move Bayo right now, but I would certainly put him out of the rotation, specifically once Sonny Gray gets healthy. All because Devers didn't want to move to first base low-key. It is kind of a butterfly effect, isn't it? It is kind of a butterfly effect. It's not his fault that they aren't winning games. The front office didn't sign anyone good. I don't disagree. I think ultimately the problems were more so on the front office. But again, clearly, and I'm going to keep saying this because I know new people are coming in, and I want to make sure that everyone understands what my take is that at some point between the Red Sox getting into spring training and the way that this ended today, there was a riff. Ownership had to pick a side, and they picked the side of John Henry. John Henry. Of course they picked the side of John Henry. They're always going to pick the side of John Henry. They picked the side of Craig Breslow. And I'm wondering if it's because, hey, we've picked the side of Alex Cora every year here. And you only made the playoffs one out of those years. I'm talking from 22 to 25, right? We've picked the side of the manager every single time. When we fired Chaim Bloom, usually the thing you do is you fire the manager as well because you want to fully clean house. You want to let the new GM pick his own manager. Well, you didn't do that, right? You picked Alex Cora because he was your guy. So I'm curious if at some point they were like, we got to make a big move. We've made too many big moves with Cora. We're going to the side of Breslow and seeing if that works out any differently. I don't know. Right? I do not know. Corbin, his youngsters have seen the Red Sox fire there more frequently in the past year. Wait, what? Eric, I think you're missing a few words there. What's going on? Fireworks, yeah. Maybe it was. Maybe it was the Orioles running out of fireworks was the final straw. Yeah, I'm genuinely, that's going to be my most interesting thing, Estrella. I don't know. The players' response to this is going to be fascinating. Maybe the biggest mistake was not moving Bregman to second base. Yeah. That's an interesting conversation. I wonder, yeah, it's a great point. I wonder if the rift, again, I don't know when the rift started. Theo got us Bregman and Crochet. That's also a good point. So should Breslow be canned too? Personally, yeah, I think if you're going to clean house, you should clean out with Bregman or Breslow too. I don't know. My guess is probably not at this point because I think it's going to be harder. And a lot of people have talked about this. It's going to be harder to replace Breslow than it is to replace Cora just because of how unappealing on how unappealing the CBO job is for the Red Sox right now. So I wonder if this is John Henry and Warner and Kennedy and all those guys just openly admitting we're kind of stuck. I don't know. Paul Tobani, yeah, dude, I do. Yeah, Paul Tobani was a huge loss, and I think it's being exposed now. Any idea what's going on with Varitek? First report I saw is he's gone. Another one is that he's resigned. Ducky, if you take a look at the screen right here, this is the official statement from the Red Sox. These are officially the guys who are leaving. Jason Varitek has been reassigned to a new role within the organization. That's the answer. Can't wait till we hear all the reports tomorrow. Yeah, I think, again, hearing what the players say before tomorrow's game is going to be fascinating. Watching how the players play tomorrow's game is going to be even more fascinating. That wants 1 minute, Evan. I'm not letting my drunk brother on this stream. I apologize. The media's going to have a field day. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for weeks, right? And again, you are going to see, when was the last time the Red Sox fired a manager like this that didn't end up with a hit piece? Francona was a chicken and beer. Valentine was just a disaster season. Farrell, again, they came out that he wasn't leading the team, that it was actually like Pedroia and everybody leading the team. I'm very interested to see kind of what... I don't know, dude. That's gonna be my biggest conversation here. Maybe this is because he's too close to Bayo and refuses to admit it. I don't think it's one player. They're not going to fire your manager and almost all of your hitting staff, along with essentially firing one of your most storied players in the history of your franchise, just simply because they sided with Bayo. That's just not gonna happen, right? Shouldn't this be more on the players? Yeah, I agree, but it might just be harder. It might just be harder to move some of these guys, I don't know. Joe Girardi, I'm good with that. Somebody that I think would be a great manager, a guy like David Ross. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Didn't he kind of mess up the Cubs a little bit though? $2 super chat. The happiest person I know right now is Mike Vrabel. Yeah. It seems like Cora refused orders from the top, and now he's paying the price. That I could see, right? That I could see. I could see the Red Sox being like, "Look, you're not listening to us. You're not taking our advice. We're putting you out to pasture, basically." Let's get the Dodgers manager. Oh yeah, let's just snipe. I can't even think right now. I'm mentally beat. Do you think that they're ever going to sell the team? No, never. Chad Tracy is one of the only minor league coaches don't immediately replace in Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Chad Tracy does and what kind of, role he's stepping in. Yeah, Dave Roberts, thanks. My brain is, dude, this is legitimately fried my brains fully. You like the idea of Rocco Baldelli? I don't know. Mike Lowell doesn't want to deal with this. Yeah, Mike Lowell doesn't make any sense. He's never managed. I think you need to have a manager. The guy who somehow took Miami to the playoffs is out there. We can hire him. Who's that guy? Albert Pujols? Pujols would be a ton of fun. He was not the manager of the manager of the Italian team, I see. What do I think about David Ross? I just said, I don't know. I don't know if the Red Sox even want to go outside or they do want Chad Tracy to take over. I don't know. Do I think that the players sent a message to ownership today in the form of Core is a good manager? I don't think, no. Because I don't think this would have lasted through an entire game if the players knew beforehand that all these guys were leaving. I don't think so. Bad joke, Brian. But thanks for the $5. I appreciate the donation. Not so much the message. I'm stunned, Dinah. Yeah, it is pretty stunning. Let's go get Rob Refsnyder to manage. It's going to get to a point where the organization itself is seen as toxic and a place to avoid. That's what I'm worried about. I'm really worried that the Red Sox are going to sit here and they're just going to tear everything down. I don't know, though. Do I think Marcel Meyer play shortstop? I don't know. I have no answers to any of these questions, man. I just don't know. That was a stupid comment, CT. This is going to disrupt Worcester and Portland too. Yeah, for sure. David Ortiz, that's not going to happen. $1.99 super chat from Estrella. Francisco Cervelli, the Italian manager. That'd be kind of fun, at least. JD Martinez, sure. Dice K? I don't know about Dice K. The next manager has to know how to deal with the young players. And that's why I think, like, when you look at it, when you look at Chad Tracy, like, I think this was a deliberate move. I think it was a deliberate move. It's April Fool's Day. Lou Merlone, that would be crazy. Like, now we're just naming good previous players in the Boston Red Sox, aren't we? I think that's what we're doing. Skip Shoemaker, no, I'm good with Skip Shoemaker. People that have stocks in the Red Sox don't want Core anymore. He's not a good manager, never was a good manager. I don't think that's objectively true, and I think a lot of people would disagree with you considering the poll down here is a majority of no. It's all our fault, the other video you made, I know. It always happens. Call me in 27, yeah, I think that's kind of where we're looking right now. I mean, again, we've seen it before where, like, people have been fired like this, and the team's played better. But I also think it's going to be a lot more difficult for $111.11 from Mr. Mad. Unbelievable donation in the middle of this. That's unreal. If you are in this chat right now, make sure you like that. That is absolutely crazy. My God. He said, random thoughts. 1, Breslow is Henry sock puppet, so he's safe for a while. Interesting. Wally just got DFA'd. The Sox are the talk with the Rally Cat. Uh-oh. Not the Rally Cat. And then Corbin deserves thanks for the group therapy session. I appreciate that, Matt. Yeah, it's interesting. But it also feels like Matt. And again, once again, thank you. $111 is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Just genuinely so generous, man. It feels like Henry wasn't too pleased with a lot of things that Breslow did in this offseason or last season. So I don't know. But we do know that at this point, yes. Right? We do know at this point, yes, Breslow was picked over Alex Cora by ownership. That's ultimately it, right? They had to have given him the go-ahead to fire Alex Cora. You do not fire a guy like this without the approval of the manager, of the ownership, especially with how close he was with ownership over the past few years. Like, that's the answer. Tracy's a good choice because he coached a handful of these guys. Yeah, I don't think the guys are going to be mad that Chad Tracy's here. I think they're going to be mad that Alex Cora is gone. When you have a good roster, you win. Unfortunately, the Sox don't have that, and that's Breslow's fault. I don't fully disagree with you, E. I don't. Did Cora answer to Breslow or ownership? Ultimately, you answer to Breslow, right? But because of Alex Cora's close relationship, again, you have to remember that Alex Cora was this doesn't really happen all that often where you change CBOs and you hold on to your manager, and more specifically, you don't allow your new CBO to fire said manager if they don't get along. And there have been times, obviously, where managers have stuck around in between CBOs or GMs or whatever. I just call them GMs. But then it ultimately, very quickly they transfer over, and the manager kind of understands that if you don't get along, it's not going to happen. They essentially told Breslow, no, Cora's our guy. You're holding on to him. In fact, we're going to ensure that you extend him. Right, so for this to happen, there had to have been some sort of rift. $111.12 from Alexander. My God, that's absolutely ridiculous. Again, everyone in here, if you are watching this, make sure you like that donation because that is unbelievably generous, man. One more cent just simply to take the top spot. He said, donation chain? Please do not start a donation chain where everyone donates $100+. That's not me being like, oh, guys, don't do that. Genuinely, please don't. I will feel so bad. But thank you so much, Alex. That is genuinely, unbelievably gracious of you. And I thank you. Thank you. If the players wanted Alex Cora to be their manager, they should have played better. Yeah, that's also part of it too. And again, I understand that, if the team is playing this badly, someone's head has to roll, right? And it was either probably going to be Cora or Breslow. I just didn't want, personally, I didn't want it to be Cora. And two, I didn't think that Alex Cora would be fired so early on in the season if it was Cora. Like, I thought this would have been a mid-season thing, hey, we're now out of contention. We could kind of make this transition and focus on 2027. It's interesting. It is genuinely interesting they did it this early, especially with how many people that they did, fire. Corbin, do I think Chad Tracy could do something like Morgan Magic in the 80s? I don't know. What's next for the step in? It's going to be Chad Tracy for now. Why didn't they make Jason Varitek head coach? Because he wasn't doing a very good job in his current role. Why don't I just become manager? You guys wouldn't want me as manager. You wouldn't want me as manager. You wouldn't. Do I think that John Henry, as the owner of this team, will ever be back in the World Series? I don't know. I hope so. Because I don't think he's ever selling. And I don't think the FSG is ever selling. Maybe Breslow gets fired later on. Yeah, maybe that's what they end up doing. Right? Maybe that's what they end up doing, is that they're starting with Cora and they move into Breslow eventually. I don't know. How soon do you think they'll have a replacement? Well, they already have Chad Tracy, and I think Chad Tracy will be the manager for a while. I think that's the answer, is Chad Tracy for now. Don't do it, Matt. Seriously. I'm going to start feeling really bad if you donate that much money to that. 0 chance Breslow goes? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, it feels clear they picked a side, that they said, we've stuck by Cora for so long. We are going to side with Breslow on this one. We're going to let him see his vision out. We want to see what happens, basically. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think that's true Puerto Rican. He's definitively a player's manager. He's called out both ownership and the CBO/GM in the past. What vision? Beats me. I don't know. Why shocked they sided with their Ivy League bro over their sassy ex-player manager? Because they've sided with their player manager for years. Look at Kevin Pillar's tweet. Kevin Pillar in the big 2-6. Kevin Pillar. I mean, okay. What is Kevin Pillar up to? Kevin. This dude. Fatsy's the best hitting coach I had in my career. Interesting. I mean, again, like we've seen this before from players that have talked about how good Fatsy is as a hitting coach. I'm sure he'll get another job. But, to be fair, Kevin Pillar played for the Red Sox, back in 2020 when they were the worst team in Major League Baseball. So, yeah, there's some reason to believe here. That, he's going to have a little bit of a biased opinion. I don't know. I don't think that, Kevin Pillar's opinion's gold. But we have seen this a few times from players. We'll go back to the statement here. Yeah, so of the entirety of their staff, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people stay. That's crazy. That 5 out of the... So how many coaches are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did Flores get fired? Yeah, no, Flores is here. Hudson gone. Chris Holt, is he still here? I don't know. Does anyone know? The guy might be gone forever. No one knows. He might have just disappeared. Looks like Rose is staying. Gwynn and Charlie Madden's the bullpen catcher. If they fired the bullpen catcher and all this, I just kind of feel bad for the guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish. He didn't really get fired, but he kind of got let go. I don't know. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You fired basically 50% of your coaching staff in the last few hours. That's insane. That's genuinely insane. What is this? Oh, interesting. This is a little bit interesting. You talk about blocking on the noise. Have you seen the noise get to this group so far this year? You got to ask them, but I know it's loud. What's your role in protecting them from that? The same since 2017, which is my job. I don't know. I mean, you're also coming off a really bad loss, to be fair here, Jake Mintz, right? Like you came off of maybe your worst loss of the season 2 days ago. So like there could have been part of that in there as well. I'm not gonna fully put it on there, but like 45 minutes to talk to the media pregame is interesting. But like if man, so many people are live. Yeah, it's just interesting here. Tyler Milliken just tweeted like, let me just see what he tweeted. John Henry, Sam Kennedy, and Craig Breslow exit the team hotel in Baltimore after the historic shakeup for the Sox. Interesting. No way John Henry answered questions. This is what I mean. Things are going to come out, man. You just saw Cora post on LinkedIn. Interesting, man. There's going to be so many conversations. And so many conversations here. Like there are going to be articles written that are going to shock us, I think. I don't think so, Jack. I think that's more of an organizational thing than it is a core thing. Chances Cora manages next season for the Red Sox? No. Bobby V redemption. Yeah, there we go. There's the answer. This sounds eerily similar to how Devers was handled. Yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting conversation. Stop the ride. I'd like to get off. Alex Cora, okay. With Brian Bale, okay. It's going to make for a really good documentary series. Yeah, it is. When is John Henry going to sell the team? Never. FSG will never sell a team, guys. I'm sorry. What is the real cause of the move up in today's game start time? That was genuinely weather. Why would the Baltimore Orioles move up the game time so the other team can fire their manager? That doesn't make any sense. Good Lord. It'll stay in the family. No, the shares would just get divvied up if that's the question you're actually asking. You know, this sounds like dysfunction. Really? Dysfunction. Shocking. This organization? No. The Red Sox? Dysfunction? No. What is this a picture of? So this is right now, actually. It just happened a couple of minutes ago. This is Henry. Oops, you guys are seeing, there we go. Henry, Kennedy, and Breslow walking out of the hotel after they just fired Alex Cora and basically the entire pitching staff, or entire hitting staff. Vicious propaganda. Yeah, there will definitively be hit pieces for sure. There will definitively be hit pieces. Like that's just how the Red Sox operate. Again, I'll pull up the official here, and then we can go over once again. If you're wondering who's managing tomorrow, Chad Tracy's in the interim manager, which I think could last a little bit longer than just a little bit. I think he'll be here probably the rest of the year, I'd imagine, or at least most of the year. Chad Epperson will be the interim club's third base coach. Again, I'd probably imagine he's going to be a fairly quick one. I don't know. Like to me, you're going to need a new outfield coach, and he was a catching coach, so I'd imagine probably pretty quick change there. Colin Heltzer, I don't know, right? He's a driveline guy, apparently. The Red Sox love driveline. I'm wondering if he kind of stays in the club as a driveline guy because of that. I don't know. I have no idea. Dusty Baker is definitely not the answer, I don't think. Do you think Tech would become the manager? No. They clearly kind of wanted to get rid of Jason Varitek without actually firing him, so. Got a lot of openings for coaches in the minors. True. Joe Cronin dead, yeah. I didn't mean that, Chad. I didn't mean that. $2 super chat from Dale. Bobby D. Yeah, let's get first move of the new manager. Getting back Bobby Dahlbeck. Ricky, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Bleachers, man. I appreciate you. You think the Red Sox will be better? Personally, in the short term, no, right? I can't imagine how they're going to be better right now than they were last night, right? I think. I mean, even if this is a plan and the players aren't totally beat up, but they're gonna be shaken up, right? There's gonna be a whole new manager in there. There's gonna be a whole new hitting system in there. Like, there's gonna be a lot. So I don't think that this team's gonna play incredibly well over the next couple of days. I think a lot of these guys are gonna be really beaten up. I actually think a lot of these players are gonna be kind of pissed. We'll see. I don't know, but I'd imagine they're going to be pretty upset. Are there going to be guys that fully speak out about it? I don't know. We're going to have to wait for tomorrow. Will be interesting. I think I'm going to have to make a video on Sunday, I'd imagine. Do you think there was a scandal, or do you think this is actually because of a poor season? I don't know about, I don't think there's going to be some crazy scandal. I think what we're ultimately is going to hear is what a lot of people have said in this chat already, is that the Red Sox wanted to part ways with their entire hitting staff, and Cora was like, no, you can't do that to me. Like, you have to these are my guys. We can get it together, all this stuff. And then that kind of led to him being fired, I'd imagine. I don't think either side is very happy with them. Video after the front office or before? I'd imagine we're probably going to have to do after the front office talks. We'll probably have to make a video. They ought to be upset with themselves. They got him fired. Yeah, did they? I don't know. Jemai Webster. Jorge, where are you seeing this? No one's talking about Jemai Webster right now. Are you just putting that chat to... am I getting rage baited right now? How do you even spell Jemai? That was a butcher. Jemai Webster. Yeah, brother. Jemai Webster was not fired. Will this hurt Roman's development? I have no idea. Is it because they rank near the bottom for home runs? It's definitely not just home runs. It's definitely not. It's everything, right? The Red Sox are bottom of the league in just about every single offensive category. Every single one. I mean, everything we've been hearing is that Chad Tracy everyone loves him. So we'll kind of see how that works out. Where the Red Sox player, yeah, but I don't know if that's the difference. I don't know if core is the difference between. Yeah, I don't know if core is the difference between the Red Sox making and missing the postseason. I don't know if that's him. Breslow put together a top 2 projected rotation. Is it his fault they aren't performing? So that's an interesting question. That is an interesting question. I can't tell in that pic. Is Henry smoking a cigar? Cora would have sabotaged Roman? I don't think so. I mean, then what was Roman last year then? That was just him pure against Alex Cora? That doesn't make sense. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of wait and see here. Cora's the fall guy. Everyone else had to go. Yeah, I think that's the answer. I think that's ultimately the answer to this, is that who I think will be Cora's replacement. I think for the kind of longer in term, it's going to be Chad Tracy, and then they kind of figure that out over the offseason. I think for the rest of the season, you're probably going to see Chad Tracy in there. I'd imagine. I don't think they're gonna try and change up a whole bunch of people here. Surprised they don't like Tech. I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm not totally shocked. They had to move him off of the catching role and then they did, and immediately the catching defensively got a bit better. And then he was the game planning and run prevention coach, and the Red Sox have one of the worst run preventions in baseball right now. I don't know how much he's actually doing, to be honest with you. But I think you're looking at that and you're like, I don't know. But again, you can't fire that guy, right? That's the guy you can't fire. So you reassign him. I don't know what that's going to be. It could be now you got to people have been saying just this is pure speculation, but you got an opening for a AAA head coach. Are they going to see how Chad Tracy does and then go from there? I think the big move is going to be a Story and Massa trade and keep the young core together. Where are you going to move Story and Massa together? Where are you going to move both those guys? That is certainly not going to. Maybe you see one of them, but you're certainly not going to see either of those. Breslow, to be fair, Breslow didn't sign IKF to be a power bat. I think everyone understood that. Was Cora managing today? Yeah. Yeah. Tech will be the roving catching instructor. Maybe. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like the Moneyball movie plot is playing out right now. Tracy's first meeting with the team. Yeah. I don't know how does Chad Tracy address this Red Sox team? Like, how do you do that? Genuinely, how do you go into that locker room and be like, hey guys, I understand that this was your guy and you guys love this guy and like all this stuff. I don't know. How do you, like, what does that opening speech look like? They hit Cora in the liver and toss him in the pool. Red Sox rival evaluator. How does it make it better to fire one of the best managers in the game? This is what I was saying. This will be interesting, chat. $111.13. Ricky, my man. Oh, my Lord. Make sure, again, if you're in here, you're liking that message. That's absolutely ridiculous. Y'all are crazy. I told you not to keep doing this, man. I told you not. I'm starting to feel bad. I am starting to feel bad. But I appreciate it. Had to log in a laptop to keep it going. We have $111.11. We got $111.12. Now our top donation is $111.13. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Genuinely, unbelievably generous of you. Thank you. That's crazy. The Red Sox starting pitching ERA is a 5.31 and Breslow and Bailey didn't get fired. Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. Why would any player ever want to sign with the Red Sox? Great question. Poppy for hitting coach, not going to happen. Pedro for pitching coach, not going to happen. You spelled one of those names right, brother, Jim. And that's genuinely pretty impressive. Phillies? Yeah, Cora's going to the Phillies for sure. With all the shortcomings of ownership and how they treat players, Cora was a bright spot. I see the Sox not being able to hold and maintain talent. Same thing happened in Miami. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an issue, and this is going to be they fully sided with Breslow, and I'm shocked. Genuinely shocked. I didn't think that was going to happen. I know there are people who wanted Cora fired. I never really saw him as truly the problem. I genuinely, I don't know. Am I getting auctioned? It kind of feels like it. I don't know. Jake Mincy. I read that. I didn't see that. Let me see. Alex Cora out in Boston. Something seemed amiss. Yeah, I just read this. I don't know where it says that Alex Cora was stepping up for him. I mean, maybe here, right? But this feels more like the players. That's what I'd imagine this was. I don't know that this was so much in light of the coaching staff, but maybe it was with all this that went down. I don't know. This is crazy, though. This is crazy. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I guess we'll see, right? At the end of the day. Breslow's a problem. Corey isn't particularly good at managing. But he can only manage the garbage he's given? I guess. Do you think we could see some of the AAA guys come up with the new manager of the Sox chose to take this year to reset? Yeah, they're already bringing up one of the AAA hitting coaches. I think we'll see relatively a decent amount of them take over the Phillies next week. I wouldn't be shocked at all. That felt like the most obvious answer. You have real problems. What, Andrew? What does that even mean? I wish they could just sell a team, but they won't. Never will. So the change makes sense. And promoting the AAA manager from Worcester, that's not random. That's a signal. They're trying to bring continuity and development, not just changing the voice. Yeah, maybe. And I don't disagree with you. Like that is Is that something you normally see? No, right? I think normally you see a bench coach or an assistant coach kind of take over the interim role. Like we saw it with the White Sox, right? They fired whatever his name was, and then Grady Sizemore took over, right? And then they kind of picked up what's his face over the offseason. I can't remember his name, but I'm wondering if that's kind of yeah, it feels deliberate. Guys, please, this is way too much money. $111.14 to take over the top spot from $111.13. Can we get all the likes on that message for the top donation, man? You guys have been ridiculously generous tonight, and I can't thank you enough, but my Lord. You're going to create your own content? Okay, good luck. Let me know if you need any help. Bring in Delgado? Yeah, I'd love to. But, man, thank you again. I got to say thank you again. KTF, thank you. That was just way too generous. Thank you. Breslow next. They're not going to fire Breslow. It's not going to happen. This was a clear indication that they are picking Breslow's side over Alex Cora's side. That's the answer. Will Venable. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Thank you. With the win today, 70-1, do you think the players knew the news before this massive victory? Again, I don't think so because I think it would have leaked a little bit. Like, I don't think it would have been kept quiet throughout the entirety of the game. I think somebody would have given a response to this. I'm in my crawl space changing the air filter. My wife thinks it takes 2 hours, but I'm running out of beers. What an all-time post there. I'm just relieved Pete Fatsy is gone. That is the positive here. If we are taking positives out of today, that's the positive here. Has Cora posted yet? No, I don't think Cora is going to post for a while. How long till we say we're the new Pittsburgh Pirates? We're gonna. You could make the argument that Cora's only performed when handed an excellent team, and the Sox want someone who can get the best out of players. So let me ask you this: how many managers in Major League Baseball can do that? Only, you know, like who are the coaches that can get the best out of everybody? Terry Francona, Hall of Fame manager, I'd say is up there. Who else? Dan Roche is saying Cora was stunned when he was told he was fired. Yeah. He had to have been. That's what I'm saying. Like, literally yesterday, this guy said that he didn't really think that his job was on the line. Never saw a single person say Fatsy did a good job with a player. Kevin Pillar just did. Does Cora collect the balance of the $21 million? I genuinely have no idea. I never heard the fans from the stadium say fire Cora. I heard them say sell the team, but they will never sell the team, chat. I don't know if we're missing out on much not signing Bregman or Alonso, given how much money they got. Look at what the Cubs are doing right now, and look at what Bregman's doing to help the Cub. Yes, he collects, so he collects some money. Who's next for the Red Sox manager? It's Chad Tracy. You miss Tyler O'Neill? I don't really miss Tyler O'Neill. They should hire David Ross. Yeah, I've seen that a lot. We'll see. I do think they give Chad Tracy a pretty big run here. It's Kevin Pillar. No. I'm saying sports. I'm saying I think this was designed, and I think they are. Yeah, Chad Tracy's one of the more revered minor league coaches in baseball. I think. Yeah, I do think that this was deliberate. I do think Chad Tracy gets a run here. Yeah. It's hard to be a fan of a team when the team doesn't care about the fans. Yeah. The Red Sox are collateral for all the loans and the rest of FSG. Sure. They won't get rid of him. I think that, to be fair, I think that they are going to give him a chance. I don't know that they're going to allow him to fully take over, but I do think he gets probably the rest of the season. If the team plays well and the young guys develop, Tracy gets the job next year. Yes, that's my point. I am the icon. I'm not an icon for anybody. Breslow's horrible at his job. Yeah, I don't know about horrible, but he's made a lot of missteps recently. Again, I'm surprised. I'm genuinely shocked that it was Cora over Breslow. True. Might as well bring it back with Bobby V. He'd make a great manager. I don't know, man. I don't know. I called for this yesterday. No. I called for Fatsy to be fired yesterday. I did not call for Core to be fired. In fact, I said that I didn't think he should be fired because I didn't think there was anyone willing or able to step into his job that was going to make this team better. And I also thought that they should give it more time. In the video that I said that they should give it more time until they make a decision between Cora and Breslow. And I still said that I thought it should be Breslow over Cora. Such a huge mistake. Yeah, I think it is too, but we'll see. We'll see. In today's game, the big leagues where players are supposed to finish developing, not stall out. And right now, that translation just hasn't been working in Boston. I don't know. They went 17-1 and 5. It is objectively funny that the two biggest moves the Red Sox have made have come after their biggest wins. Like the Red Sox sweeping, who'd they sweep and then fire? Was it the Giants? No, it wasn't the Giants. It was the Orioles, right? Did they do this both times against the Orioles where they swept the team and then it was the Yankees? Yes, it was the Yankees. You're right. They swept the Yankees and they traded. Well, I guess fired too. Traded Rafael Devers. And then they win their biggest win in a long time. And then they fire the entirety of the coaching staff. Their timing is just like genuinely very funny. 17-1 was today. Was the players protesting? Then what are we like? Low key, what are we doing? You know, like if you could have pulled that out this entire time, and you could have hit the way that they're hitting today, and they're doing it strictly out of protest. Like to be fair, this would have been totally avoided if you just hit like that the entire year. So I don't think so. Yeah, Tyler, that's an interesting one. Yeah, that wasn't a protest, I don't think. Surprised they didn't put Bailey as manager? No. I think Bailey's should be focusing on pitching right now. Is Tristan Casas going to make a return? Not anytime soon. This team is so funny. Yeah, this team is wild, dude. Sam Kenny will do a presser and say that was part of the plan all along. True. Andrew Bailey is what? What, Dale? Do we think that they take a commercial flight back to Boston? They didn't do it out of protest. Cora got word yesterday. They did it as a final FU to Cora. He was not the popular player coach that Ness and hypes him up to be the guys. SC, what are you in the clubhouse? What are you in the clubhouse? Any new news? No, nothing yet. Just that people around the league are kind of shocked by it as much as Cora is shocked by it. This was the only interesting one that I saw that I wanted to talk about quickly. As far as timing of firings go, last night's game didn't end until nearly 10 p.m. and the first pitch of the day was around noon. Even if a decision was made last night, it would have been extremely difficult, if not impossible, to fly interim coaches out in time. So I'm curious if maybe they did know. But again, an entire team kept this quiet and all of these coaches kept this quiet. Was this like a, hey, last hoorah kind of thing? I don't know. Just got off the phone with Duran, said bro is whack. Yeah. Andrew Bailey should have been the one to go. He's awful. Yeah, but he's Breslow's guy. He's Breslow's guy. You can't fire all the players. It's impossible. They made all these changes, and the young players are not developing. Casas was injury prone, so I think there's that. I don't know that the Red Sox really messed up Casas. Am I wrong to be devastated? No, dude. If you liked Cora, I don't think it's wrong for you to be devastated. Speaking of Durant, he's probably gone. Yeah, I'm curious about that. Again, I don't know. I'm very, very curious about what the answer to this is going to end up looking like. Mark DeRosa and Joe Madden, two of the dumbest things I've heard. Yeah, I'm going with Mark DeRosa or Joe Madden, to be totally fair. What do I think Jason Varitek's new role is going to be? Yeah, I think he personally, I think he goes down to Worcester as their manager. But like, if you're Tech, do you want that? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think the biggest part of this is I'm just genuinely shocked that it was everybody and not starting small and kind of working your way up. That's my opinion. I always thought should be small and then work your way up. I'm not in the clubhouse. My brother and friends as friends of the Oregon EEI. Debut week last week, brother. The personal vendetta isn't true, and I promise you it's not. Could Cora possibly end up with the Yankees? That could be crazy. I mean, maybe. I don't. Now the Yankees are too entwined with Boone. I don't think so. Maybe after the season, I guess. I don't know. Who was fired again? We can run through it one more time. The official list of firings was, which is still crazy. It's genuinely crazy to say that they fired all these guys. The Boston Red Sox today announced the club has parted ways with manager Alex Cora, along with 5 members of the coaching staff: Pete Fatsi, Kyle Hudson, Ramon Vasquez, Dylan Lawson, and Joe Cronin, and they reassigned Jason Varitek. And I genuinely don't know what reassigned means. I have no idea where Tech is going. It sounds like they kind of were like, look, I don't want to fire you, but also like, or we can't fire you, but also we don't really want you on the big league team here. So we'll see. I don't know where he's going to go. The team will start to hit. It's the pitching that has been really bad. Bailey hasn't made anyone better in your opinion. Yeah, but I don't know. It felt like this team was clearly underperforming offensively, even to a lower kind of request. You think? Do you think anyone will request a trade? No, I don't think so. The only person I could see potentially maybe would be Duran, but that might actually be beneficial for the Red Sox, who have just been in this impossible task of 5 people. Can I elaborate? Yeah, Jason Varitek staying in the organization. It's right there on the screen, actually, baseball. It's right there on the screen. He'll stay in the organization. I just don't know where. So they're basically saying, look, dude, we can't have you on the big league team. We want you somewhere in the organization. We'll find a spot for you. No problem. I'm just kind of elaborating on it. Will you trade for a power bat desperately? Yeah, I don't. At what point are the players held accountable? Here's the problem, Maddie, is you can't fire an entire team of players midway through a season. Can't do it. Even if you want to say, the trade deadline, yeah, that's in June. If you want to make a move now, you can't fire a bunch of players. So who do you fire? You fire the guy in charge of the players. Please welcome the new third base coach of the Boston Red Sox, Greg Weiser. What would I give to be a fly in a room in that hotel room? Yeah, I know. Willier was Cora's guy and arguably the highest market value. Wouldn't surprise me if Breslow moves him. I don't know that Willier was Cora's guy. I think the organization loves Willier as a whole. I don't think it was just Cora's guy. Maybe I don't know much about this aspect, but why is the third base coach fired? He's not considered hitting, more of a defensive outfielder guy. I don't know the answer to that, honestly. I have no idea. Maybe it's just that they wanted a full slate change, and I think part of this too is, guys who were super close with Cora got the axe, is my guess. Right? My guess is that Huddy and Ramon Vasquez were kind of lumped into that. So I think that's kind of what ended up being. Is demoted the right word for Varitek? I don't know, because I don't know if it's going to be in the minor leagues or the major leagues. The only thing that's leading me to minor leagues is saying a role within the organization. Sounds like a minor league thing. This was the news Vrabel needed. Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times. This team will not get any good players when their reputation is tarnished severely. Yeah. I mean, again, they turn this around and they start winning a bunch of games and they look pretty good. Then I don't think it affects it too much. I think people look at it as like, okay, this is fairly good news. I don't know. But like, yeah, if you're a free agent next year, and not that there's a bunch of like really good free agents, but how should we realistically look at the remainder of the season? Yeah, I agree. Sox content. I agree. Um, again, Freedom. I don't know. Right? There's two ways to look at this. Either the Red Sox have fully given up on the year and they're like, look, we want a clean slate. We want to start getting these guys in now because we've got a bunch of core guys that need to get used to this new coaching staff so we can start preparing for 27. Or it's we're going to do this super quickly and early on in the season because we think that Alex Cora was a problem and we think that this team will compete once we change this. Those are the only two answers. Maybe Anthony didn't want Cora. I don't think so. I don't think. Why would Anthony have any problem with Alex Cora? Power struggle between Cora and Breslow. Yeah, I do think that's part of it. Work on Friday will be interesting. I guess. What do you do for work? I suppose. Only reason Tech wasn't fired outright is because he's a former Cat. Yeah, I agree. Any chance MLB steps in for what? No. If they haven't stepped in for anything going on with the Athletics, anything going on with the Pirates, anything going on with the Reds, and like not recently, but like a couple years ago, no, they won't step in for this. Goal is to make the playoffs. It's April, and we have a good roster. Yeah, and you're 4 games out, so maybe that's it. I'm telling you right now, if this team isn't at least above 500 by the end of the year, Breslow's toast too. Yeah, maybe, but like again. If that's the case, why fire Cora now? Why not just wait to the end of the year and fire both of them? You know? Like, I don't think so, man. I think they're siding with Breslow on this, and I think they're letting him clean house and see what happens. What's my new record prediction? My new record prediction is probably like 80. I think they get to 80. I think they're around 80. That's my guess. 78, yeah, I could see that too. Hurts the MLB brand for the size to be this dysfunctional. Brother, no, like, yeah, it doesn't make them look good. The Red Sox are good specifically, but this is a ton of eyes on MLB. They love this. Drama, yeah, for 1,000%. People are going to love this. The Red Sox fired their manager, Joe Morgan, takes over, and suddenly the same players rip off 12 straight wins and look like a completely different team. Kalshi, I don't use Kalshi. I don't believe in prediction gambling. That's just me though. If the Red Sox rip off 12 wins in a row, I will. I will praise this. I will praise Craig Breslow like he's never been praised before. You fire Cora now because they say, hey, you built this team and they're losing and Breslow is, and I stand by my team. Cora isn't prepared. Dale, I don't know. I don't know what that meant. Build around Roman. Yeah, that's what they've been doing. Henry selling. Henry is not selling this team, I promise. Andrew Miller status? What do you mean? Just trying to bring some Red Sox history in. I see what you mean, Lionel. Yeah. No. I see what you mean. That's been mentioned a couple of times. I just don't see this team rattling off 12 wins. I just don't. Is there a situation where we sign someone outside the organization, be our interim manager, a one-season guy, and goes back to AAA? Yeah. Yeah, after the season, potentially, yeah. Yeah, the beard, true. I've not been this disappointed in Red Sox management since one day ago, almost at a 2-day streak. Chances are he's starting shortstop at the end of the season. If they keep playing like this, very high. Very high. Does the new manager have what it takes to fix this team? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have the answer to that. If I had a crystal ball, trust me, I'd be making a lot more money than I am right now. Yeah, but he's one of the most widely regarded managers, minor league managers in baseball, so we'll see. It's got to be Chad's team for the rest of the year. Yeah, I think so. This is my opinion, is that Chad Tracy is essentially a tryout, right? I think they really like Chad. I I think they highly value him. I think they're going to give him a chance to see, how he develops the young guys specifically. And if, even if they don't perform incredibly well, but you're seeing really big strides in guys like Meyer and Durbin and Roman and Narvaez and kind of that core group there with Early and Tolley in there, then I think they hold on to him. If it kind of stays status quo and nothing's still going right, then I think there's a whole bunch of different stuff here. The other question I wanted to answer, did you ever meet Chad Tracy whenever? Yeah, so Chad, when I go down there, you get so I get there at 1:32-ish. You get from 2 to 3 basically with a game at 4 because I can only go Saturdays to talk to the players. And then at around 2:45, 3-ish, Chad Tracy kind of speaks to all the media. So yeah, I met him a couple of times and did that media circle thing. But I didn't really I haven't one-on-one talked to him, no, but he's always been really nice to me. That quote from Chad is wild. Surprised he didn't review it. Where's the quote, Rip? Where is it? You can only manage the talent you have on the field. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to sell seats for $60. What's up, Glenn? How you doing? It's going to be interesting to see how much Tracy shakes up this team. Wouldn't surprise me if Story's playing second next week. You're going to buy a ticket to the next home game now because they fired Alex Cora? Wow. Where's the quote? Where's the quote from Chad, Rip? Bring up Eaton and Sogi then? That'd be sick. Has Andrew Bailey's status changed? Nope. Still the pitching coach of the Boston Red Sox. If they win the series in Baltimore and sweep the Blue Jays, who stink almost as bad, they could be right back in it. Yeah, they could, but they could have done that with Cora too, I think. I don't know. Let me see if I could find a quote that he's talking about. I don't see any sort of quote from him. I like this. That's pretty cool. I like that. But I don't see anything. I don't see anything in terms of a quote. Quarter of the Mets, maybe. $500 donut if they fire Brazil before the. It won't be before the end of the season, no. It'll be the end of the season, Man, dude, I just to me personally, it doesn't feel like the right move to make the Red Sox better. It just doesn't to me. My immediate reaction to this news was shock, genuine shock. Yeah, but Ben, Brad Stevens got fired to become the GM of the Celtics, and they've been one of the most competitive teams in basketball since. This is a totally different situation. I personally think that we look at this and we say, boy, Cora wasn't playing with the Red Sox well, but what's the larger issue here? I think there's a bigger issue. Yeah, so it was just funny timing then, Ben. It was just funny timing then, Ben, that Stevens gets fired and it just happens to pick up the job because Brad Stevens just happened to be moving on. That is not true at all. If the Red Sox won a World Series in a row, for every finger you cut off, how many fingers would I cut off? 2, probably. No, it's totally different situations, Ben. There's no getting worse. You can only get better. So why all the drama? Because I don't think this was the right move to make you better. I don't. So break down the reasons. I don't believe ownership would do this if they didn't care. They're trying to fix the problem. Reasons for what? In my opinion, Cora is one of the best in-game managers of this era. I Here's my thing is I don't even need to defend Alex Cora, the manager, to say that I don't think he was the biggest problem, right? You look around the roster itself and you talk about the fact that it lost a leader in Alex Bregman, that it lost such a core piece of its team over the offseason. I think you look at the fact that you're relying on 1, 2, 3, 4 of your starting 9 guys who are, is it only 4? Yes, 4 of your starting 9 guys who are in their second year in the league. I think you're looking at a team that didn't come together because of the WBC until the very end of spring training. Like, I think there's so many other things here that you could point to. And on top of that, too, like, is it Alex Cora's sole fault that the pitching staff that you put together that was so good? I'm not blaming the players, Ben. I'm blaming the roster construction itself. You're totally misunderstanding what I'm saying and getting mad about and literally everything, like the opposite thing I'm saying. Cora got Bloom fired and Breslow beat him to the punch. Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. That could be it. Is John Henry even speaking to the press? No. What do you think? Of course not. Why does Andrew Bailey still have a job? He's as bad as Pete Fatsy. I don't have an answer. The answer is because he's Breslow's guy. And the Red Sox said, look, we're giving... You are the only Red Sox fan in the history of Red Sox, I think, over the last 2 years to be your pro Henry. That's crazy. Low key, that kind of makes me that kind of makes me not want to respect your opinion just a little bit. Do you think not signing Bregman caused a rift with Breslow? Yeah, I think so. Was firing Cora the answer? I don't think so. I don't think it changes much. I don't think it changes much, but I mean, I guess we'll see, right? I could be totally wrong. Now we look even worse to the league being this dramatic and taking out the coaching staff. Good luck. Yeah. Press conference tomorrow morning. Yeah, I think it's at 1:35. You think firing Breslow and Fatsy was the move? Yeah. Dave Portnoy. No offense to Dave. I don't think he knows too much about the Red Sox. There's a potential domino effect. There's a huge shift with the org. A defining moment, likely speared by John Henry. So does Henry give Breslow the open checkbook to acquire talent this year? I don't think so because if we're being honest, the offseason doesn't look that incredibly bright in terms of like free agents. This is crazy, dude. Genuinely crazy. Wow. I don't know. If the Royals continue to skid this season, I'd overpay an uncomfortable amount for Bobby Witt Jr. Brother, Bobby Witt will never be traded. Can you give everyone a brief on what Cora controls and what he doesn't? Cora controls the game-to-game stuff. Mostly kind of what the lineup looks like, whether or not, like when pitchers get pushed back, that's usually a Cora decision. Obviously who comes in out of the bullpen, pinch hitting situations. Like I think he's got a little bit of and then there's kind of like combined roles, right? I think game planning and like the strategy using coming into games, I think is kind of both on him, his coaches, and then Breslow as sort of an overarching, hey, this is the way that we're going to approach games. What he doesn't control is things like the roster, who's up, who's down. He doesn't make moves like that. I mean, he's got input on everything, but ultimately that's the sort of bigger overarching stuff. That's more Breslow, right? The way that the organization develops, that's on Breslow. The way that the organization handles injuries and stuff like that is usually on Breslow too. It was just dumb timing per usual with the Sox. The timing is tough. Whether you agree or disagree with the firing, the timing is tough. Does Breslow address the team? He has to. But could they reverse course and get a bat without giving up talent and just take on the money? Maybe, but who? I think Chad Tracy would help our ABS success. Yeah, maybe. Go look at the post-game interview. Cora knew his face looked just depressed as hell, and you could already tell. Maybe. I don't know. Again, I just think it's really, really difficult for a team to do that. Do you even see I went live? Yeah, I've been live for almost 2 hours now. Jeez. These firings will look absolutely crazy in the documentary about the Red Sox when they won the World Series. Yeah, Trevor, I'd imagine there's some relief for him. Like, there's got to be a little bit. A rift or dirt? I don't think there's any real dirt. I think it's just I just don't think I think the owners decided they needed to do something, and it was Cora over Breslow. I don't know if it was like a last minute Breslow thing. I don't know. Why does this happen? They wanted to trade something up. I don't think this decision comes out of nowhere. You don't fire manager and coaching staff at this level without doing serious internal work. And that includes talking to the players. I would actually venture to say no. I don't think they talk to players. No, actually, I would venture to say probably not. Maybe in very specific cases, but like you don't want. So the big thing you don't want to do, CD, is go around being like, "Hey, Duran, what do you think Alex Cora?" Like John Henry coming up to you and saying that causes drama, that causes issues. I don't think so. I think they use Cora as a scapegoat. Yeah, I personally think that's what ended up happening here too. This seems like the ownership needed to do something to just pick Cora to quiet everything down. Yeah, that might be it too. We will see real quick if the players like this move or not. Yeah, I do. I do too. I think you'll see it very quickly. What's my personal emotional opinion on this? I think it sucks. I thought Alex Cora was a good manager. I think Alex Cora didn't really deserve to be the scapegoat of it. I think ultimately, I don't know that it makes the team better in the short run. Scapegoat is like, hey, this isn't really going to solve the problem, but this is at least like us acknowledging that there's an issue, right? So you kind of place all the blame on one guy, even though you know it's not really the problem of the team, but just sort of so it can be a problem. So it sort of looks like that was the problem. Does that make sense? Yeah, blame guy, basically. A fall guy, if you will. Doesn't mean it's the wrong move, though. I don't know if this is ultimately going to be the wrong move or the right move because we don't know. If the Red Sox come out of this and all of a sudden they're a competitive team and they're in the wild card series or whatever, because you're not going to win a division at this point. If that's the ending of it, well, then maybe it was the right move for the Red Sox to do. Maybe the scapegoating of Cora, ultimately what it led to was the Red Sox getting rid of these coaches who were the real problems, and then the team plays better. That's the only thing I can think of. But I don't know. Like, again, if the team ends up absolutely tanking the rest of the year and like it all looks terrible, then I don't know that it's the right move either. I'll be honest, I think the locker room is going to be split after this. I don't know. Seems like we waved the white flag. Yeah, but again, I don't know if it is waving the white flag because we don't know what the response from the team to this is going to be. They could either completely tank it out and leave it, or they could, rise above it and have this sort of change in philosophy be the answer. The front office is so bad that you have to blame Alex Cora. It's pretty depressing. Yeah, he could be Z, or it could end up being that Alex Cora really was one of the better managers in Major League Baseball, which I think he will be. And that doesn't mean that Chad Tracy's a bad one, but I think, maybe there is a chance. And again, you could sit here and keep saying, oh, he was a scapegoat. Oh, he needed to be fired. None of us really know, right? None of us really know if the answer is he was a guy who needed to be fired or if he was a guy who's being scapegoated. Now, I can tell you right now, regardless of whether or not he deserved to be fired, he is 1,000% a scapegoat for this because I think ultimately the problems are all the way at the top. And I also think Breslow's been a bit of a problem. But you sit there with this and it's like, this was a scapegoat, but is it a scapegoat that's going to work or is it a scapegoat that's ultimately going to fully sink this team? And that's the answer, right? We don't know. Also, the coaches have officially left the building. Chris Cotillo's following this like it's Chris Cotillo's following this like it's Elvis leaving the Palace in Vegas. Very funny, but regardless. Yeah, but if the Red Sox make the playoffs, I think Breslow stays. I definitively think Breslow stays. And again, I do think the Red Sox have now kind of backed themselves into the corner here, you know? I think the Red Sox backed themselves into a corner here. They fully put their faith in Breslow. You can't let him go after this, I don't think. I don't know. The funeral hearse. Don't make this move lightly, but then, I don't know. I'm distraught right now. 21 years old, so Corey's pretty much all I know, so I'm very biased, I guess. Yeah, that's definitely part of it, too. 2018 to 2025. I mean, with the break in 2020 there, yeah. The Sox needed a new voice in the manager's office. Cora lost the players' confidence, but how do you know that? Breslow assembled this bad squad, so why is he still hired? It's a good question. I don't know. Again, my answer to that is I think the Red Sox, or specifically John Henry, either one, Breslow was able to worm his way into his ear, or two, he looked at this and he said, well, wait a second. We've put our faith in Cora between multiple CBOs and still have kind of got into this sort of, funk of either bad starts or bad, or not making the playoffs, and we're going to side with the CBO. Selling your tickets? Yeah, man. If you loved Cora, I don't blame you. This is a big shakeup. It's a big shakeup. It's a lot like the Devers one last year. I don't think we should have done it this early, though. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't disagree, CD. There was clearly something going on with this, but again, was it something going on between Breslow and Cora that ultimately led to this, or was it a full ownership, management? They all sat there and said Cora was not the right person for this job. I don't know, right? I don't know. The players were not wanting to play for Cora. There was an internal turmoil in the clubhouse, ignored by the media. Where are you getting this information, Puerto Rican? Where? I wonder if Breslow and Kennedy portray Cora as a problem when they speak tomorrow. Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. Did Corbin read what it says on the side of the van? Why would I read what it says on the side of the van? There cannot be anything on the side of this van. Oh my God. No way. The bus that is taking the coaches, fired coaches, is the Coaches for Hire LLC bus. There's no way. Look at this. Can I even zoom in? How do I zoom in? That's not what we want. Where's the zoom in button? Am I an idiot? I am an idiot. It's not zooming the picture and zooming in the rest of my screen. Okay, dude. It's right there. Coaches for Hire LLC. That is objectively maybe the funniest part of this entire thing. That is maybe the funniest part of this in the entire thing. Internal talks with the players. Pitbull, when have you been in this clubhouse? Now they have new hitting coaches. They need to address pitching. If you change up hitting, you need to address pitching. Yeah, but I don't know. Must be AI. Has to be AI. I mean, Chris Cotillo. No, Chris Cotillo wouldn't do that, I don't think. So all five coaches just getting in there and crying together? Yeah. Pitching going to figure it out? I don't know. Do you think if Cora goes to the Phillies, he brings all the others with him, or do they go separate ways? I'd imagine most of them go separate ways. I agree. I think starting with something smaller, yeah. How is the new hitting coach going to change the team overnight? It's not. I get firing Cora, but why the third base coach? I don't know. Firing Tech is interesting. Again, they didn't fire him. They reassigned him, but yeah, it's pretty close to firing. $4 super chat from Trip. Well, guys, I guess this explained John Henry's being in the games recently. Yeah, it does feel like John Henry starts showing his face at games. Something big's going to happen. And they weren't wrong. They weren't wrong. Thank you for the $5 super chats. Don't need to be in the clubhouse to talk with players. Okay. All right. All right. So if you have sources, name the players then. Who are the guys with problems with Alex Cora? Go ahead. I appreciate that, baseball. I appreciate you being here. Why didn't they fire the first base coach? Great question. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning was. Of course, you're going to the first Red Sox home game after firing the whole staff? Really? So you're excited about it, huh? The new coaching staff is about to walk into the Stone Cold theme Austin song, hit Trevor Story with a metal chair. Was AC shielding Bayo? I don't know. I don't know. The answers are going to come out. Who's the interim coach? Chad Tracy. The answers are kind of like the answers are going to come out, right? There's going to be a bunch of different stories. I think for both sides. I think local media is going to get, I think local media is going to get stuff from the Red Sox. I think national media is going to get stuff from the Bresla or from the Cora side of things. So we'll see. Like I don't know which side's going to be right. I think the truth's going to lie somewhere in the middle here, but we'll see. Is there any chance Theo comes back as GM? Zero chance. I'm not sure if you already answered this, but who's a good replacement after Tracy? Chad Tracy's named as interim, yes. That's a question we're going to have to answer probably at the end of the season. Superman. I think sorry, I'm kind of like frying out here. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I think Chad Tracy gets the rest of the year. The answer definitely not coming out tomorrow. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I don't think all the answers are going to come out tomorrow. I think we're going to see a bunch of different ones over the next few weeks. I really hope there isn't going to be a bunch of hit pieces just bashing guys. There will be. For sure. Bring back Butterfield. Yeah, let's get back Butterfield. Nesson as John Henry quotes. Yeah, the quotes are right here. I bet they're the same ones that the Reds, like the Nesson Twitter. I'll check. Yeah, this is the same thing that the team put out. Like if you go back to the Red Sox here, why does the official Red Sox page not come up when I look up Red Sox? Doesn't make any sense. Here it is right here. It's the same quotes. And it's just a blanket, almost AI feeling statement. When's the major trade coming? I don't know, man. It might be next. Pitchy coach too? No, pitchy coach is going to be here. Pitchy coach will be here. No, all good, Weston. It feels like the Denver situation is making a move, and these guys are the scapegoats. Yeah. Red Sox web developer. Like Bailey's a Breslow guy, not an AC guy, the only remaining? Yes. That's exactly why. Maybe a change was needed. I've sat here as a staunch, and I'll say this, like I'm going to get off soon. I think we've kind of covered all we're going to cover today. I don't want to just sit here and, soak up your time if nothing new's coming. But kind of like my ultimate sort of admission here is as a guy who has been a Cora defender for years, and still think that Cora is one of the better managers in Major League Baseball and will stand by that until the day I die. I don't know that this is an entirely negative thing for this team. And that's crazy to say, but maybe it was just something they needed to figure out. Like maybe there was always this disconnect between The way Cora was wanted to run this team and the way Breslow did it, maybe for this team to be successful, you need to allow Breslow to take it over. Not that I think that the Red Sox should be, let me rephrase that. Not that I think Craig Breslow is going to do a good job, but at some point you need to at least, I don't know. I don't know. My head is in a million different places right now, if I'm being honest with you. It sucks. I loved AC. I really thought he could be a manager here until the day that he decided he didn't want to be a manager. That's ultimately my answer. And then I don't know whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I have no idea. You found out from me first? Well, I'm glad I was able to break the news for some of you guys. That's kind of cool. We are all Greenville Drive fans. If you think there's a big trade coming, who do I think to target? I don't know. Oh, Joey, dude, you're so late. I don't even know if I can keep going. Trust the process, young core, top 5 rotation money to spend. Dynasty incoming? I guess we'll see. Watch the team get better in a few weeks. If it does, then yeah, I think it was the right move. If it doesn't, then it's the wrong move, and I think people should also admit that too. Right now, I don't think it's the right move. Right? I don't think it's the right move. I don't think it's going to make the Red Sox better. But I'm also openly admitting I don't know if I am right in that opinion. I don't know if I'm right in that opinion. Because I do think there is a chance that this was the right move. No, I don't think so, D. I don't think there's going to be DFAs. Like, I don't think this is going to be a full overhaul here. My video on this, yeah, we'll definitely put out a video tomorrow on this for sure, because this is the biggest news from the Boston Red Sox. And I think this is bigger than Rafael Devers, personally. I don't know, but we'll see. You know, I don't know. Then what was the right move, in my opinion? I thought the right move was to start small. I thought the right move was to move on from the hitting staff and see if that changes things. I thought the right move was to let that play out a bit and then go from there. Whether and to be honest with you, I still think Breslow, like I don't know. The problem is I don't have an answer for what the right move is, which is why I'm sitting here saying, personally, I don't think this is the right move. But if I don't have a solution, maybe this is the right move. And I've said that like 4 times, right? Suddenly, I just went a little bit overboard. Yeah, maybe it's just them getting trigger happy. I don't know. Right? I don't know. So we'll see. I'm gonna break it down. I'm sure more will come out tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk. We're definitively gonna talk. I'm gonna sleep on this. I want y'all to sleep on this, and then tomorrow we're gonna break down everything. Why don't I have the answers? Because I'm not running this team, man. I'm right here with you guys. You know, I have as much information as you guys do. That's all I got. You know. Am I gonna go live for the post-game press conference? If so, what time? I'm probably not. Again, E, I don't think this is E. How many times do I have to say this? I don't think that this is the right move. I don't think that this is the right move for the Red Sox. But I'm openly saying I don't know what the right move was. So I'm open to seeing if this was the right move. Does that make sense? Like I have my opinion. I don't know what the right answer is. Does that make sense? Anyways, guys, yeah, I am I'm like fried. I am cooked, dude. We did 2 hours on this. I think more will be coming out tomorrow, especially tomorrow morning once the players get in. We'll probably do a video reacting to the players' reactions to this, which will be very interesting. Yeah, we might even do 2 videos tomorrow, honestly. We might even do 2 videos tomorrow. But I appreciate y'all being here. This was probably the biggest live stream we've ever had in the history of this channel. So I appreciate y'all being here. For all the donations were crazy tonight. Thank you so much. That was ridiculous. Please don't ever spend that much money on me again. if you're new here and you want to start following the Red Sox a little bit more, I do videos once a day, every day, but Sunday, except for this week, we will definitively be doing a video Sunday. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like this video as well. It helps these videos out a ton, means a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see y'all tomorrow to break this down more. And as always,